What if I told you that every time she pulls away, you're playing into her hands and you don't even know it? That behind every smile, every silence, every shift in her mood, there's a psychological pattern. And if you knew how to control it, she'd never look at you the same way again. This isn't about texting tricks or pickup lines. This is Machiavellian strategy, the kind of dark surgical thinking used by kings, not nice guys. And yes, it works frighteningly well on modern relationships, because the battlefield may have changed, but the biology hasn't. Picture this. You're not chasing, explaining, apologizing. You speak less, yet she listens more. You do less, yet she reacts more. You become the gravity in the room, the one force she can't ignore even when she wants to. In this video, I'm not giving you advice, I'm handing you control. The kind of control that doesn't beg for attention. It commands it, quietly, invisibly, permanently. But here's the warning. Once you learn these tactics, there's no unlearning them. You'll start seeing through every game, every test, every emotional push-pull, and realize you were never powerless, just untrained. So ask yourself now, do you want to keep guessing or do you want to start leading? Because by the end of this video, you won't just understand her, you'll own the frame she lives in. Before we dive deeper into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and comment below which country you're watching from. In the shadows of history, Niccolo Machiavelli built a legacy not around compassion, but control. A strategist of human nature, his words were weapons. His insights, daggers into the heart of power. He never wrote about love, not directly. But beneath his political doctrines lies a chilling blueprint, one that applies with razor precision to the emotional world, particularly the space between a man and a woman. This video is not for the faint-hearted. What you're about to hear isn't romantic advice. It won't help you become more emotionally available or win someone's heart through kindness. These are tools of influence, psychological levers, and if used with precision, they can tilt the power balance of any relationship in your favor. Machiavelli taught that perception is more powerful than truth, that fear lasts longer than love, and that control isn't taken, it's shaped. These ideas, forged in the fire of political conquest, now find new relevance in the battlefield of modern relationships. Not because human beings have changed, but because we've become better at hiding the game we're all still playing. Every principle in this video is rooted in dark psychology. Some will disturb you, some may tempt you, all of them are real. You're about to enter a world where emotion is currency, perception is leverage, and control, true control, is invisible. Understand this. Those who master these techniques don't chase affection, they pull the strings behind it. And once you see the mechanics, once you understand what truly drives attraction, attention, and obsession, you can never unsee it. This isn't love, this is power. And power, when handled correctly, is impossible to resist. In the mind of Machiavelli, it was never the truth that mattered, but what people believed. In matters of power and attraction, this couldn't be more accurate. What a woman sees in you is rarely who you truly are. It's who you allow her to think you are. And the more mysterious, layered, and unreadable that image is, the deeper her curiosity will run. Certainty is the enemy of desire. When you're predictable, you're forgettable. But when you're slightly out of reach, hard to fully understand, inconsistent in just the right way, you become a puzzle her mind is wired to solve. And the more she tries to decode you, the more emotionally invested she becomes. Scarcity amplifies value. If you're always available, always open, always explaining yourself, you become common. And nothing common holds power. But if your emotions, your time, even your thoughts feel earned, never given freely, you create a perception of worth that multiplies with every moment of absence. Reverse psychology works here like a silent weapon. Appear uninterested and curiosity spikes. Withdraw slightly and attention sharpens. Let her think she's choosing you, even as you shape the illusion of who you are. This isn't about lying, it's about storytelling. You are the author of the version of you that she meets. And in that version, every word, every silence, every gesture should feed the illusion, not of who you are, but of who she can't stop thinking about. Perception isn't optional, it's the battlefield, and you win it by remaining unknowable. Machiavelli would have called it reinforcement, not affection. Because when it comes to power, love isn't given, it's rationed. Emotionally intelligent men don't flood a woman with constant validation. They control it strategically. They understand that emotional abundance breeds complacency, while emotional scarcity breeds obsession. Think of it like a casino. No one gets rich in one spin, but the possibility of reward, random, unpredictable, just out of reach, keeps people hooked. This is intermittent reinforcement, and it's one of the most powerful psychological tools on earth. When you give praise, attention, or intimacy at irregular intervals, you train her brain to chase the high. The dopamine spike becomes addictive, and the fact that she never knows exactly when it's coming keeps her emotionally alert, invested. Pull back when she expects warmth, offer kindness when it's least anticipated. Over time, her emotional rhythm begins to sync with yours. And when that happens, she's no longer reacting to her own feelings. She's reacting to your timing. This is not cruelty. It's control through contrast. Give just enough to keep her hungry. Withdraw just enough to make her crave your return. And as she invests more, emotionally, mentally, even physically, the sunk cost fallacy sets in. She doesn't want to walk away because walking away would mean admitting she misjudged the value of her effort. That's how loyalty is formed, not through comfort, but through calculated uncertainty. Affection loses its power when it's constant, but when it's unpredictable, it becomes irresistible. In every relationship, there's a silent negotiation over control, but the one who sets the frame, the unspoken rules, the emotional tempo, the expectations, is always the one in charge. Machiavelli understood this well. True power lies in shaping outcomes while appearing passive. When a woman meets you, she comes with a frame, an internal story about how men behave, how relationships evolve, and what she expects from emotional connection. If you step into that frame, you become reactive, predictable, replaceable. But if you subtly reshape that frame without announcing it, you become the reference point, the standard, the one she has to adjust to. This doesn't mean barking orders or being overtly dominant. That's weak. Real frame control is quiet. It's in how you respond when she tests boundaries. It's in your tone when she tries to provoke a reaction. It's in your refusal to explain yourself emotionally when silence would speak louder. You set the frame when you don't chase, when you choose when and how communication happens, when your approval is something to be earned, not assumed, and when conflict arises, you don't fight. You reframe, calmly, confidently. If she accuses you of being distant, respond with, "I value connection that feels genuine, not constant." Now you've flipped her critique into a compliment to your standards. Over time, she'll adapt to your rhythm. She'll start checking herself before crossing lines, not because you demanded it, but because the silent rules of your presence made it clear. Remember, in relationships, as in politics, power isn't in what's said, it's in what's assumed, and when she assumes you're the one who sets the tone, you've already won. Machiavelli warned that rulers who appear too cold are feared, but those who seem too soft are manipulated. The secret lies in the balance, in showing just enough humanity to be relatable, but never enough to be predictable. In relationships, this principle becomes even more powerful. It's called selective vulnerability, the art of revealing the crack, not falling apart. When you are emotionally impenetrable 90% of the time, your rare moments of openness hit like lightning. They feel earned, not given. And because they're scarce, they carry more emotional weight. This creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. She sees you as strong, detached, dominant, and then suddenly, for a moment, she sees something else. A scar, a struggle, a glimpse of the man no one else gets to see. Her mind scrambles to reconcile the contrast. And in that scramble, emotional bonds form, but it must be strategic. Vulnerability should never be reactive. Never in a moment of weakness. It must be timed, calculated. Share a childhood story when she least expects it. Show frustration once, then immediately recover. Let her see the man who feels but never loses control. This creates emotional exclusivity. She starts to believe she knows a version of you that no one else does. That belief becomes addictive. It makes her feel chosen, special. And that feeling, being the only one who sees behind the mask, is the hook that keeps her chasing. The strongest emotional bonds are not built on constant openness, but on the illusion that your guard fell just for her. Machiavelli understood something few ever master. Control isn't about shouting orders or forcing outcomes. It's about shaping the environment so others naturally move in the direction you want. In relationships, this translates to emotional climate control, the art of influencing how she feels without saying a word. You don't need constant communication to maintain power. You need presence, the kind that shifts a room, changes her mood, and anchors emotions to your existence. Your silence can be louder than her questions. Your gaze can say more than her accusations. When done right, you create an invisible gravitational pull. Tone matters. The calm, measured pace of your speech. The way you lower your voice instead of raising it. The way you pause before responding, forcing her to lean into your energy rather than pull you into hers. These small, intentional choices regulate the emotional air she breathes around you. And when you master timing, you become a psychological architect. A well-timed message after silence can spark longing. A late arrival not explained can stir curiosity. Your unpredictability becomes an emotional thermostat, raising or cooling her reactions as you please. This is not manipulation through chaos. It's control through contrast. Through emotional anchoring, where her most intense highs and deepest introspections happen in your presence, even if you're not actively saying anything. By setting the emotional temperature, you decide whether she feels calm, anxious, intrigued, or euphoric. And over time, she'll associate those internal states with you. She won't chase words. She'll chase the feeling of being around you. And that's control without control, influence without effort. Now that you've understood the foundations of influence, it's time to go deeper. These are 10 advanced psychological weapons Machiavelli himself would admire. Fast, potent, and engineered to bypass logic and hit emotion directly. Each tactic is a silent strike, designed to turn attention into attachment and curiosity into control. 1. Scarcity of presence. The more available you are, the less valuable you become. Scarcity triggers urgency. Make your time feel rare. Cancel plans occasionally without explanation. Show her your world moves with or without her. When access to you feels exclusive, even your silence becomes premium. 2. Controlled silence. Silence isn't a void, it's a mirror. When you withhold a reaction, she fills the silence with her own fears, fantasies, and insecurities. Delay your responses, leave some questions unanswered. Let her mind do the work for you. The most powerful answers are the ones she creates herself. 3. Social proof engineering. What others say about you often matters more than what you say. Be seen respected by others. Let her witness subtle admiration from friends, strangers, or women in passing. This taps into her primal need for validation. If the world values you, her mind naturally follows. 4th suggestion. Implantation. Direct commands trigger resistance. Suggestions bypass it. Instead of saying you should, ask, have you ever thought about? Use stories, hypotheticals, and analogies to plant ideas. When she believes the thought was hers, her investment in it multiplies. 5. Strategic absence. Disappear at the high point. Not in anger, not with explanation. Just vanish for a while after a moment of connection or peak emotion. This creates a vacuum, and human minds are wired to obsess over what's missing. She won't just miss you, she'll reimagine you. 6. Emotional mirroring. Mirror her tone, energy, and emotional shifts subtly. When she's passionate, intensify. When she's quiet, calm down. This creates subconscious rapport. She begins to feel you understand her deeply, even though you've simply reflected her emotional rhythm back to her. 7. Controlled victories. Let her win, but only when it costs you nothing. Let her change your mind once in a while. Let her pick the restaurant. Let her think she swayed your opinion. These small wins feed her ego while you maintain control of the larger direction. 8. Contrast-based addiction. Humans are addicted to contrast. Be warm then cool, present then distant, intimate then mysterious. Don't overdo it. Too much chaos breaks trust. But just enough contrast creates psychological whiplash, keeping her emotionally off balance and deeply invested in resolving that tension. 9. Emotional anchoring. Be the source of her emotional highs. Surprise her. Make her laugh in unexpected moments. Calm her when she's spiraling. If her peak emotional experiences are consistently linked to you, her subconscious will start associating you with feeling alive. 10. End interactions. First, whether it's a text, a call, or an in-person conversation, end it before she's ready. Leave her wanting more. This creates anticipation, which is the seed of obsession. She'll replay your words, analyze your silence, and wait eagerly for the next moment. Each of these tactics on its own is powerful, but combined, they create an ecosystem of influence, a psychological environment where you are the constant variable and she is the one adapting, chasing, adjusting. Remember, these are not tricks. They are frameworks. You're not manipulating, you're leading. And the most effective leaders don't yell, they don't plead. They simply control the frame, the energy, and the emotion while appearing effortless. Power doesn't always look like dominance. Sometimes it looks like a slow smile, a late reply, a moment of unexpected absence that changes the entire mood. These weapons are sharp. Use them precisely and understand, she will never forget how you made her feel, especially when those feelings come with contrast, scarcity, and mystery. In her mind, you won't just be a man. You'll be an emotional storm she can't predict and can't walk away from. One of Machiavelli's most overlooked tactics was the construction of systems so compelling that people chose to surrender. He didn't demand loyalty. He created environments people didn't want to leave. And in relationships, this becomes your most elegant form of control. Don't chase her. Build a world so rich in ambition, vision, and social gravity that she wants to chase you. Not just your attention, but your life. Your identity becomes the product and she wants to buy in. Your mission, your standards, your lifestyle, it should feel like a secret club. One where not everyone gets access. One where entrance requires alignment, not attachment. This creates an exclusivity effect. The more she feels she must earn her place, the more invested she becomes in keeping it. Let her see your goals, your forward motion, not in speeches but in actions. Show her what she could be a part of, not what she could control. This is future pacing. You paint the picture of a shared future without promising it. Let her imagine herself there. Let her want it. Your life should feel like momentum, a moving train she doesn't want to miss, a kingdom she wants to enter, not one you reshape for her comfort. That's the shift, from validation seeker to gatekeeper. Because when she feels like she's earning her place in your reality, she won't just stay, she'll fight to never lose it. You've now seen behind the curtain, learned tactics most never even recognize, let alone understand. But here's the truth, Machiavelli never wrote plainly. Power without restraint becomes poison. Every psychological weapon you've learned, scarcity, control, emotional rhythm is real. It works. But there's a fine line between mastery and manipulation, between influence and destruction. Use these tools recklessly, and you won't just control others, you'll become addicted to the control itself. You'll mistake dominance for connection, obsession for love. And in doing so, you won't just shape her world, you'll lose your own center. So ask yourself, are you using this knowledge to elevate your standards, to attract depth? Or are you building an illusion so strong even you believe it? Because power isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about understanding the game so well you no longer need to play it emotionally. That's the final shift, from tactic to transformation. Will you be the man who manipulates because he fears loss? Or the one who embodies such command over himself others naturally follow? The answer won't be in what you say. It'll be in how you move, how you pause, how you walk away, and whether you ever need to return. If this video pulled back the curtain on a side of psychology most people never talk about, then don't let it stop with you. Hit that like button if you found value in what you just heard. It tells the algorithm this content matters. Subscribe if you're ready to learn more about power, influence, and the hidden rules most men never discover. And if there's someone in your circle who needs to hear this, share this video with them. Sometimes one idea changes everything. You're not just watching content, you're leveling up. Right now, there are 2 videos on your screen handpicked just for you. Click to watch them. I'm sure you'll love every second.